they now have played without Tyreek Hill twice in 5 days. And it is Mahomes 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, Kansas City 2-0. And I think he's basically eliminating a lot of the questions about how big a factor the absence of Tyreek Hill is going to be. And by the way, I think there are some people inside the Chiefs who are absolutely categorically delighted about that with some of the sniping that has gone from Tyreek Hill back to Kansas City.
Well, Peter, we've learned through the things Tyreek Hill has said on his podcast, it needed to be said. He has said some things that didn't need to be said that help us better understand what was going on. He was being a pain in the ass for them. And I don't know if I've said this on a day that you've been on the show, but Chris and I have talked about this on other days of the week. I think Tyreek Hill saw what Cooper Kupp was doing last year and was resentful and jealous and envious, and he wanted the opportunities that Kupp was getting, because if Kupp can have a record pace for catches and yards, I can too. Because at the end of the day, Tyreek Hill had career-high targets and receptions last year. So it's not as if he was being ignored and overlooked in the Kansas City offense, but he still wasn't happy. And that puts pressure on the quarterback, who already has a natural inclination to hold the ball a little bit longer for Tyreek Hill to spring open. You take that out of the mix, and now all you've got your guys that are running their routes. And what do? You throw to the guy who's open. You go from this guy to this guy to this guy. And you don't feel any extra pressure or any extra fascination with getting the ball to one specific guy. And I think that's what takes this offense next level, or to the level that they've wanted it to be at ever since Patrick Mahomes took it over, Peter.
You know, I would bet that at some point last year, there was, if that indeed was the case, I bet at some point last year, Andy Reid or maybe Mike Kafka at the time, Eric Bieniemy, somebody would have made the point, hey, by the way, you know, the Rams don't have Travis Kelce. So there's 150, I don't even know how many targets Travis Kelce had last year. But, 130, 150, whatever it was. But if the Rams had Travis Kelce, Cooper Kupp would not have caught the balls nor had the targets that he had last year, because there would be a 1 and a 1A there. And, the Rams just didn't have that. The Rams had to rely inordinately on one receiver last year. Robert Woods goes down. They don't have the tight end that Kansas City has. So, I mean, look, I've got, and plus, I wrote this in my column, Mike. What's ridiculous about this is at the time this happened, Drew Rosenhaus, the agent for Tyreek Hill, said that he was surprised at how far Kansas City stretched to try to get him re-signed, and praised Kansas City through the roof for how they handled the negotiations. So, I don't know. To me, it's sour grapes by Hill.
Now, Hill was targeted 159 times last year, Kelce 134, to your point. And I don't know how much Tyreek Hill was even uttering the name Cooper Kupp when he was complaining last year.
Right.
But he made it clear he was not happy. He was complaining. He treated it as a feather in his cap that he didn't say anything publicly at the time. Well, he said it all publicly afterward, and I think that allows us to peel back a little bit of this onion as to what the stressors were for Patrick Mahomes. Now this year they're gone. Here's Patrick Mahomes last night after the victory talking about spreading the football around to various players not named Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I think that's what we said going into camp. It's going to be everybody. It's not going to be one guy. Justin Watson came in when McColl was a little banged up, and he got McColl's route, and he won against a Pro Bowl, All-Pro corner. And so for guys like that to make their imprint on the game, that'll help us out as we get into these tough games like this, that we can get touchdowns and stuff like that from everybody.
And that's the beauty of it, too, because Patrick Mahomes, who is in his 5th year as a starter, who is acquiring an even better mental database of looks, pre-snap, post-snap, who's open, who's not open, working through his reads faster, spreading the ball around. I'm doing the counting here real quick. I see 9 different guys last night had catches. 9 different guys last night had catches, Peter. Out of 24 receptions, 9 different guys had catches, with Travis Kelce the most there, 5 for 51. And I guarantee you, none of those guys was complaining during or after the game that they didn't get the ball enough.
You know what was really interesting last night? I thought that, in this crucial AFC West game, the Kansas City touchdowns were scored by Jerick McKinnon, Justin Watson, and Jalen Watson. I mean, coming into the game, let's go to Vegas and let's see what the odds of any of those guys scoring a touchdown. What could you have gotten on any of those guys scoring touchdowns last night? And those are the 3. And, Mike, I will just go back to the day I spent in St. Joseph, Missouri, in the middle of August, where Patrick Mahomes had a day. It was maybe an hour and a half practice. It was not a long practice. And Patrick Mahomes was spreading the ball all over the field. And I had this observation. I charted, I think, 29 plays that day because they were going so fast. And I charted 29 plays that day, and on only 9 of them was Juju Smith-Schuster in the slot. He was all over the place, and he's happy. Everybody's happy. Justin Watson is catching balls down the field. And so I think Kansas City had a design going into this year. You will not read us this year. You just won't. We are going to be unpredictable, and we are going to be multifaceted and married to no one in this offense. And you've seen in the first 2 weeks, they are married to no one.
You mentioned Smith-Schuster, what a reception machine he was early in his career in Pittsburgh. He was targeted 3 times with 3 catches for 10 yards last night. And again, I suspect he had not a word of complaint, criticism, or frustration as a result of what happened last night.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.